Buying or selling a home is one of the most important decisions you'll make in your life. Let my award-winning team of professionals help you.
Call the Holly Ritchie team today for a free market analysis.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to another podcast and another edition of Spanning the Need. And I'm your host, Anthony Spano. Tonight, we got a very special episode. We're a week away from Christmas, and let's talk about food. Everyone loves food with their families, and today with me, we have Chris Bernacci. And Chris, it's always a pleasure.
Always a pleasure with me also.
So tonight, we're going to be doing something different. We're going to be looking at how easy something can be made for your family. A lot of people may not be going to see their families this year because of COVID and the pandemic. We want to show you a very simple way on what you can cook with all the essentials in your house. Very reasonable stuff that you can go to the grocery store and pick. Chris, what do you have in store for us today?
Today I was going to show you how to make a Caesar salad for Christmas because it's a very popular salad, but we're going to make the dressing from scratch, which is super easy.
Okay.
Very super easy. And then we're going to do a carbonara.
For dinner. Okay, so let's get started. We're gonna start here. And first, Chris, you've been doing this for a long time.
Yes.
What made you get into the cooking business?
Well, you know, I always loved cooking. I was in my other profession. I had broken my leg, and I started watching Mario Batali and all the old originals, and I just fell in love with it. So I decided to go to culinary school.
Well, and now look, how long has it been since you got out of culinary?
It's going to be at 17 years now.
Wow, 17 years. I can't count that high. But, Chris, let's start with what we go. Start with how we're going to do this.
Yes. So for a Caesar, in your blender at home. All right. If you don't have a blender, you could also use a stick, emulsion stick. You could buy them at the store for $20 at Walmart or whatever. But anyhow, best is to use a blender. So first, you start off with your anchovies. I got 2 whole filleted anchovies here.
Now, what kind of ingredients? You can get these at the store, can't you?
Yes, I've got most of this at Rowley Brothers. You can get
okay, so you can go. Okay, go ahead.
Any local favorite store. And then you're going to want about a tablespoon and a half of garlic, fresh minced garlic that I minced up.
Oh boy, okay? Garlic.
Yes.
Oh,
yes.
I can smell it already.
Absolutely. A little salt and pepper to taste, however you like it usually. You know, start off with a teaspoon and then you could adjust and add more. You could always add more. You can't ever take it away. I'd say 1/4 of a tablespoon of lemon juice.
Now, these are made for how much of a serving? We talking like a full salad? Or?
Yes, well, you know, I put what I have in here, so that you're looking at for this amount of salad right here, which this right here would feed a family of 4 easily.
Okay.
Yes, because you don't need much of this dressing when you toss it in.
Right.
So, then next what I'm going to put in there is I have some celery, chopped up celery, added with some Italian flat leaf parsley.
Everything's got to be Italian.
Yes.
Especially for us Italians.
Exactly. And then I got your most important ingredient is your 4 eggs. This is what creates the dressing, the emulsification.
Okay.
So actually it's 3 whole eggs and 1 egg yolk, just to give it that rich flavor. Okay. And then what we'll do now is we're going to close all this in. And you give it just what you do is you give it a quick pulse, they call it. So, okay? And then I'm going to stop it. And after I stop it, what I'm going to do is I'm going to add my cheese.
Usually I ask, what can I put on my Parmesan cheese is what I can with dinner.
Everything.
Exactly.
I'm going to add that cheese, which is 1.5 cups of cheese. You could adjust it if you like, and you could add a little more because you know everybody knows what salad dressing should look like, the consistency. That's what you're shooting for.
Okay.
And then you got my oil, which is olive oil and vegetable oil mixed. So what you do is you start the emulsion process again with the blender, and then as you're doing that, you slowly add the oil in as that's going, and then that will right there, that will take care of all that.
That'll add your flavor to it.
Yes, that will add the flavor to it. So, and it makes it thick like that, and then when it comes out like this, and what you do, take your croutons, you can buy your croutons, I make them, chop up some leftover bread, some Italian seasoning, garlic, olive oil.
Go ahead.
And bake them in the oven.
So this is a simple, what do you have in here, romaine?
Yeah, I have chopped romaine in here.
Okay.
Yes. And then I got some mozzarella and provolone blend, shredded.
Oh, wow.
Yes. And then you also, again, with the Romano cheese.
I put Parmesan cheese on everything.
Yes.
I mean, everything.
Yes. This is, yeah, you're right. This is Parmesan cheese. We're going to use the Romano for the carbonara.
Okay. And so this is the final. This is kind of the final thing.
That's it.
And kind of really makes it really a little chunky, actually.
Yes.
Because normally that's one of the Caesar dressing is really more of a more lumpy type of dressing.
It is. It's
like
because
blue
of the
cheese.
Yes.
Okay.
It is because of the Romano and Parm.
So let me ask you this: if you can make that by hand and keep it in the refrigerator, how long does it last?
Well, I'll tell you, if you want to prepare everything ahead of time, if you have a big dinner coming, I would make everything, and I would not put the croutons or save the dressing for last, because the dressing will wilt the salad and lettuce.
Okay, so let's talk a little bit about that. You've been doing this for 17 years, okay? What made you really get into culinary? You went to culinary school. Now you have your own kitchen. You had your own restaurant.
Yes.
And did you grow that big?
Well, you know, I believe in hard work and dedication and always being consistent and putting out good food.
Okay.
I stand that all my regular customers in town or wherever, they always come back because they know I put my heart and soul into the food. And yes, I'm very serious about it, and I'm very serious about techniques and related to food,
Right.
you know, because that always works.
Well, let's talk a little bit about that. You've really kind of exploded. You had Christopher's Down Under, I think, in downtown Youngstown, and you became so big that you actually got rid of the restaurant and got your own kitchen and your own food truck.
Yes.
How has that worked out to really what is going on in the community?
Well, you know, the food truck, it was a whim idea that we did when things didn't work out downtown. We tried to expand the kitchen there, it didn't work out. So we got the food truck, and I never thought that, you know, it was just an idea. I said, we should try this food truck thing a few years ago. And it really, really took off. And I'm going to tell you, I hate to say it, but this past summer, it was nice with the social distancing and whatnot, be able to pull up the locations and do
How
that.
have you been handling the pandemic? Because we hear a lot about restaurants closing, or you got 25% capacity. How has that affected your business?
Well, it really affected our catering business because no one's had a party for 6 months or more now. You know, and if they do, it's only 5-10 people, which is understandable. But I do believe that most restaurants are the same. And the carryout actually is just like a food truck for a carryout for a restaurant, has blown up in a lot of restaurants. Right. You know, it's really done well. And unfortunately it is because of this pandemic, but I can't wait till you get packed restaurants in town again.
Well, I think people still try to go to restaurants now.
They do.
Now, are you doing any type of takeout for Christmas dinners?
Yes. You could go under our Facebook, which is the Food Cruiser. That's the name of our food truck. If you go under the Food Cruiser, it'll give you probably the link to Shauna Bonacci, my wife with the company, and our menu is posted on our Facebook.
Okay, so let's talk about, we've made our salad for Christmas, okay? Very simple. We know a lot of families are just doing 4 or 6 of them, so they're not really doing. So this is the perfect dinner that someone can, very short. Took us 5 minutes.
Yeah,
maybe less than that because we had the ingredients here. But I think one thing nice is all of these can be picked up at the local Rowley Brothers or Sparkle or any of those Giant Eagles around. So now, what do you have planned for dinner?
For dinner now, I like to stay Italian. Going over to the Rome area. Supposedly this dish started with the coal miners.
Okay.
And the coal miners started making some sort of dish like this because they had black pepper and cheese. It's a very simple dish.
What's the title of this dish?
It's called carbonara.
Carbonara.
Yes.
Okay.
So basically, in a nutshell, well, first we'll start our pasta.
Now, is this angel hair or is
this is spaghetti?
Spaghetti. Okay.
Yes.
But you can pretty much use any type of pasta.
Yes, linguine, fettuccine.
And trust me, there's plenty of them out there. I've tried them all.
Yes. You know, so I always cook my pasta al dente for 8 minutes.
Okay.
Okay, and that's just a little tip that I wanted to say. And I'm going to come over here. And now you mentioned earlier about having all of our ingredients ready. This is always good to do if at home.
Yeah.
It makes your life easy. It's called mise en place. It's a French term.
Okay.
Everything in its place.
And all these ingredients we had pre-done just to make sure we can get it done instead of trying to figure it out. And now this is in a separate pan, correct?
This is in a saute pan.
Okay.
So
what do you got?
I have the saute pan here.
You got some oil?
And I add my olive oil to the saute pan. After that, I have some chopped up pancetta.
Ah, yes.
Which is cured Italian bacon.
Okay. Hey, it's still good.
It's still good. Look at it, laying it straight.
No, good.
And laying it on.
I'll get a new one.
So the pancetta, yeah, get a new one.
We always have a backup.
Yep. Thanks, sir.
There you go.
And then we put that in there. So to saute the pancetta. Now that'll take about a minute and a half, 2 minutes to properly, saute that.
Right.
We'll let that go. Okay. In the meantime, our pasta's cooking now. I wanted to tell you real quick, I have peas. Peas are not a common thing added to an original carbonara.
Okay.
But I like that.
No, that's not. This is different. This is
Yes.
a different. This is your kind of your different type of recipe.
Yes.
Okay.
And that being said, to this dish, you could also add shrimp. You
Okay.
could add grilled chicken. You could add some steak tips
Okay.
if you want, some beef tips if you want.
Okay.
That's all you got to worry about.
Beef tips would be an interesting one
It
too
would
with
be.
your pasta.
It would be.
So where does this go? Does this go in that pan or no?
This here, yes, these
Okay.
peas will go in the end. Now, we're sauteing here. We're getting there. We're getting pretty good with our saute. So I always, when I'm sauteing, I always have some tongs and a whisk with me. Okay, just in case you need it, if you don't know how to flip the pan or whatever. But for right now, see how it's all coming together. Very nice. It smells great, doesn't it? And then now, what you're going to do is you're going to close. I'm going to turn that heat off, right? Now my pasta, say we're almost there with the pasta, but I cook some off ahead of time just to move this along a little bit. Okay? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this pasta right from the pasta water, see? See, I just pulled it right out of there. Okay? You even use a little bit of that pasta water that comes right off of it. And I put it right in my pan just that fast. See, I didn't even strain it.
Nope.
And this is the important part about carbonara. So now you're going to mix this around all good, even with a little bit of that pasta water, okay?
Okay.
And then, this is where your process comes. I have 4 eggs right here.
Okay.
Cracked in this bowl.
Okay.
I'm going to add these eggs immediately. Now, people are going to say, yeah, that's going to cook, but you have to take it off the heat, add them immediately, and start whisking. Start whisking your pan.
Now why eggs?
Because eggs will make it creamy and bring the sauce all together and
Almost
hold it
like
all
an
together.
Alfredo.
Yes.
Oh, I'm loving it already.
I hate to keep saying that word, but like an emulsification almost, you know.
Yeah.
And then you add your peas to this. Very important ingredient, your grated Parmesan and Romano cheese.
Parmesan cheese in every heart.
Fresh parsley, I put in a little bit on my own. A little salt for taste and a little pepper for taste.
Okay.
Okay, you notice we didn't even put any garlic in this, believe it or not.
No garlic.
No garlic. And then what you do is you get it all mixed together fine like that. And then you continue cooking that just a little longer after.
For how long?
I would say another 25 seconds. Like I would throw that on just to bring it all together.
Okay.
And then you could adjust. You see how nice and creamy that is, Tony?
Yeah, it makes it nice.
Yes.
Almost, the eggs really makes it, the juice and making it thicker, like an Alfredo.
Yes.
So
Now-
you really don't have to put an Alfredo or a marinara in
you
it.
do not have to put Alfredo on that. You do not. Now, some people will use a little bit of heavy cream in there, which you can. This is, once again, is lemon juice. You see I use it in everything because of the acid. It just brings out the flavors of everything.
Okay.
All right, so see, there we go. You know, another 20 seconds or so, 20, 25 seconds, and then you want to take that always in the middle. Always put your pasta in the middle of the plate. I like to give it a little twist. If it's long pasta, and boom, there you go. And you have yourself a beautiful carbonara sauce.
Wow. Let's taste this.
Yes.
Let's taste this. I go right for the middle.
Go right for the middle. You can't beat that.
No, yeah, you can't
Right,
at
I got
all.
a fork.
Oh God, there's a little.
Make sure everything worked out here.
Oh yeah. Oh wow, that's good. That's good. Now, as you can see, that took us not even 10 minutes to make.
Not even.
10 to 15 minutes. And anyone can make this.
Yes.
And I think that shows that, hey look, some people may be really stingy on what they can buy and what they can't because of the pandemic. A lot of people are going to have very small groups, as we mentioned earlier. So this is a way to really make something small but really elegant that people will enjoy.
Absolutely.
You don't have to be an Italian family, a Greek family. Anyone can do this. So we hope you'll be able to make something this easy. The recipe, both recipes, will be on our website at anthonyvspano.com. We'll make sure we have everything for you on there. Now I know I'm going to add a little
cheese,
little grated
right.
cheese. But let me talk about this. So what are some of your plans for the future?
Well, you know, I still going to do the food truck.
Okay.
And I'm still going to always continue catering. I thought about maybe looking into the restaurant down the road when everything clears up, maybe. You know, maybe we get the Roaring 20s back. But you never know. But on top of that, I've always been thinking, I've always had a passion about it. I want to help the community. I want to give out to the community. I grew up in Youngstown my whole life, was involved in the community before with the schools and what Youngstown City Schools. And I would love to get like kids in the city area and maybe start like a little culinary school and teach them how to do this the right way, and teach them what kind of hard work it is. And you got to start off, even if you have to start off as a dishwasher. Everybody got to start somewhere.
I was a dishwasher. I dishwashed. I cooked. I was a line cook at a restaurant, Great American Steakout, years ago. Great steak place back in the day in Niles, Ohio.
See?
Yeah, I mean, I started there. I'm not the cook as you are. I look good, but I wear this because I don't want something getting on me. But I mean, how do you plan to try to really get those kids to really get in the kitchen?
I tell you, I think a lot of them do it, and I hate to say, but if you see up at the Newport Library, I believe they have a program. The Youngstown Diocese has a program doing that, which is going incredibly well, and I'm sure all those kids are getting a great education. But it could go even further. It could go to people that are down on their luck and maybe need a job, or we're almost homeless, or our rescue mission's full. Maybe bring those people in and teach. You never know what you have in people's minds, that if you teach them these things, they might just blow up and become wonderful chefs and contribute to everybody got to eat.
Yeah, and that's, I think, and with the pandemic right now, this maybe not bad idea.
Yeah,
and Chris, where can people find you on the website, Facebook? Tell the viewers where they can find you.
On Facebook, like I said, look under The Food Cruiser, and then or Shauna Bonacci, Bonacci. First name Shauna, Shawna. My phone number, you could ever reach me personally, 330-330-7923. Text me, call me, whatever, and I always have it on me. That's what I use as my office or work phone.
Okay, well, this was simple. I can make this.
Yes.
Just very simple, very easy. We just encourage you, if you can, get a lot of the recipes, or I should say the commodities, together before you get it. It makes it very easy.
Yes.
It took us, I think, not even 10 minutes to make this whole thing. Overall, it'll probably take about 10 or 15 minutes to make everything once everything's done. Does
Correct.
That sound
Well,
about?
yeah, getting your ingredients together, yes. I mean, there's no reason why that shouldn't.
And I think, so let's talk about kind of where you've been and how you've been. I like to ask 5 questions to people that are on my show. What's your best memory?
My best memory actually is when we got the food truck. My wife and I took a train, an Amtrak train to Virginia, and we had this truck custom made by a gentleman that does this for a living.
Wow.
And he sends them all over the U.S. We got this big, huge truck, and we're pulling out, and it's pretty heavy and lopsided with a kitchen on one side and a hood exhaust. 15,000-pound truck. And we're driving through D.C. trying to get back to Youngstown, and we're lost, and we don't know where we're at. It was just
it's called Google Maps.
Yeah, it was a crazy experience. We ended up sleeping in a Walmart parking lot in the truck that night, and got it home, and now it's ever since.
Okay. Best experience?
Best experience, I would have to say, would be, when I graduated culinary school, because I didn't know if I was going to be able to do it. And when I went through culinary school, a lot of people in this industry say, "Oh, that don't mean nothing. You got to learn from being right here in front of the stove." But it really did help me. It was a good experience.
Okay. Best memory?
My best memory is when we did a job for a gentleman when we first started catering. We did a job for a gentleman in Stowe, Ohio, who is a big wig, and he does financial advising for like KISS and Brady Quinn at the time, Bruce Springsteen, and we thought maybe there's a rumor that some of those guys were going to be there, but it didn't work out. But it was a huge job, and it was our first big one, and it was great.
Who's your role model?
In the industry, I would have to say that Julia Childs was a
From
big
PBS.
Yes.
And you know what the funny part is? People beat on PBS. I watch PBS. I still watch it to this day. You can judge me all you want. I think PBS is a great station, a great television broadcast company.
It really is. And Julia Child, they show her because she really broke the mold in this industry. And
she didn't actually know what she was doing.
No.
She put it all together.
Yes.
I don't think people realize that. Like, she wasn't really following recipes. She was following some scope, but really just made her own type of dinners.
Yes, and she did have some very influential French chefs that got behind her.
Yeah.
Also, that really made her, like you said, really brought her out.
Okay. If there was one person you'd want to meet, past or present, who would it be?
Past or present.
And why?
You know, I would have to say, in this industry though, I would have to say Anthony Boardman.
Okay.
You know, unfortunately he's not with us anymore. But
like past or present, it doesn't matter.
yeah, you know, and the Pope, any Pope. I don't care who it was. John Paul would have been great, but Pope Francis would be awesome. That too. But yes.
Well, we appreciate you taking time out tonight, and we appreciate you on this 1 week till Christmas. Thanks for coming. It's always a pleasure. We got to do this again.
Yes.
I'm going to eat, and I wish I could take you food, but unfortunately, it's dinner time.
It's dinner.
So, but we appreciate you taking time watching us. A week to Christmas. We hope you enjoyed this. We will be doing more of these in the future. Any more podcasts or interviews, you could please go to anthonyvspano.com. Also, our ingredients and what we did here tonight will also be on that website. So please enjoy. Have a happy holidays and a Merry Christmas. Be blessed. Good night, everyone.
Good night. Take care.